So I was on a Zoom family call the other night, and some of my family members asked me to make another cooking video, one that had to do with sauces. I started making a sauce, and then it dawned on me, maybe I should show people how to make the stock that I'm making the sauce with. I will put out the sauce video after this video. So in this video today, we are going to make a brown beef stock. There's many variations or derivatives of this sauce. You could put thickening agent like roux, which is flour, equal parts of fat and flour, and you use it to thicken sauces. That would be what I would call Espanol or a brown sauce, but to me that's kind of cheating. We're going to make the stock and we're going to reduce it down for quite a long time, and then the bones, the gelatinous material in the bones, the gelatin in the bones are going to make the sauce thicken itself. It's pretty expensive, like to do in a restaurant. I mean, it takes a lot of time. There's all these, you spend all this money on bones that you don't really see anything out of. Today we're going to make, I would call that a Demi Glace or a Demi Glace. So today we're going to make Demi Glace, old school style. So to start, we are going to roast some mirepoix, some bones. This is our roasting pan. So I went to the store and bought these beef bones. Look at that marrow. Like an ossobuco, the veal shank, that's the candy. So just basic bones that have been cut. It's 2-inch, 3-inch pieces. These are a little bit bigger, but that lets the flavor release into the water. Here you got some carrots. We did Hello Fresh that we don't follow the recipe to, so we had a bag of shredded carrots left. I'll throw that in the stock. We got some onion and some celery. Okay, so the carrot, onion, and celery is basically mirepoix. Use that combination in almost any sauce or stock, probably any soup that I make. There's a couple times when you would not. If you're making, say, potato leek soup, don't put the carrot in. It's going to make it dark. You want your potato soup to be like as white as possible. So I would leave the carrot out in that instance. There's other times in certain situations where you don't use all three. In New Orleans, they had what was called the Trinity, which was onion, celery, and green bell pepper. So that was kind of, I mean, we still use mirepoix in stocks and other sauces, but time somebody talked about the Trinity, it was onion, celery, and green pepper. So we're going to chop up the vegetables. We're going to put them in the bottom of the roasting pan. Then we're going to put all the bones on top. We'll roast the vegetables for a little while. After they get some color on them, it's very important that you have to put some tomato product in this, whether it's old tomato seeds from where you made tomato concasse, whether it's tomato paste, whether it's a can of tomatoes, like crushed plum tomatoes, or whatever you have. It has to have tomato product in it. If you put it in first, it's going to burn. So you let the bones get a little color, the vegetable get a little color, and then you add the tomato product near the end. cut carrots and they're flying around. I imagine Elmer Fudd getting ready to cook Bugs Bunny, and when he's cutting the vegetables, shit's just flying everywhere. Okay, the bones are in the oven. They're roasting. I'm gonna go play a couple games of pinball in the living room. We'll come back and check the bones after that. Okay, I can smell the bones in the other room. The vegetables, everything's cooking here. Let's take a look. It's a little heavy. Yeah, so things are going nicely. Back in the oven, let it roast for a little while longer. Okay, the bones have been in for a while. I'm going to take them out, look at it. Oh, it's hot, it's bubbling, it's cooking. Okay, got some good color. Okay, yeah, the marrow here is just cooking out. Look at that. Might have to eat some of that after the stock. Don't eat the bone marrow before you make the stock. That's where all your flavor is. So we got some pretty good color here. Got some coloration in the bottom of the pan. Okay, so we got good color on the bones. I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato product now. Today I'm using tomato paste. Smear it around. Rub some on the vegetables, rub some on the bones. Here again, you could use whole tomatoes. We used to always use the seeds from tomato concasse. Tomato concasse is when you blanch the tomato and just real quick in boiling water and then cool it and the skin comes off. And then you cut tomato petals and you only use the best part of the tomato, the meaty part of the tomato. No seeds, no skin. It's like the candy of the tomato. That's tomato concasse. So whatever we had scraps, we would never throw away. And we would use that to make the brown sauce or any tomato sauce or tomato water. Tomato water is really good. Maybe I'll do a tomato water video later. Might be a lot here. One can wasn't enough. You know, when it comes to cooking, you just got to make it happen. Whatever you have. You don't have tomatoes, maybe ketchup. That would be not my recommendation, but you got to make it happen. You know, if you're like me, you're cooking stock at 1 in the morning, the damn store ain't open. What are they thinking? Don't they know I need tomato product at 1:30 in the morning? Very disappointing. Too much color in the bottom of the pan. I'm going to go ahead and add some water. Okay, back in the oven. Okay, I think the bones are ready. They got a decent amount of color. They're cooking hard. It smells good. Bottom, don't really have any color compared to the top anyway. So we'll probably do another 10-15 minutes in the oven. it evenly. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes. I'm gonna pull it out, see how we're looking. Okay, we're done on this one. Yeah, to me, that has good color all around. Still got some red tomato paste. So I'm going to go ahead and split this into two separate pots. We'll simmer it down for, you know, I don't really know on time. I don't really cook by time. It depends when it's done. But we're going to split up the bones and the veg. We're going to boil it down. Eventually, both pots will be combined. Okay, yesterday I started the stock and roasting the bones around noon. By the time the bones were roasted, cut all the vegetables, did all that stuff, it was about 1 or 2 o'clock. We simmered it last night until about midnight, 12:30. We put the lid on and turned the heat off. Right there is all the scum that I skimmed. When you skim the scum, or the fancy French word is dépoulage. So I think I did pretty good. It's you know, it's all grease in here. That you see a little bit of liquid moving in the bottom, but I mean, you're going to get some of that. You don't want when you're skimming, you don't want to be taking the stock out too. You only want to take the impurities. So anyway, let's check this out. Okay, good color. It's reduced enough. Bones are sticking out of the water. You can see it started up here and reduced down. Now I did add some water. Let's look at this one. Yeah, looking pretty good here. Let's get a ladle and look at this. Oh yeah, I mean, it's a red ladle, but that's some good color there. So we're gonna go ahead and strain the stock and then just simmer the stock by itself. Reduce it down to make some Demi Glace or Demi Glace. Okay, here's the aftermath and the strained stock. As you can see, we still have a lot of congealed fat here on top. I could try and skim it out, but then we don't want to do it like that. We want to just get the fat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill out. All that grease on the top will get hard, and I'm just going to lift it out in little pieces, and we should have a really clean stock. I really need a chinois or a fine strainer. I ordered one. I don't have it here. It's like 2 layers of mesh that really, strains every impurity out of your sauce. But we'll be okay without it. I have a couple tricks. Might run it through some cheesecloth. But right now I'm just gonna clean up the mess. Worst part of cooking. Do the dishes and let this chill just enough to pull that grease off the top. Okay, the stock has been in the refrigerator for a while. You see how all this stuff is really hard? Get a slotted spoon and just skim that right off the top. Easy money. Look at the color in that. It's very dark, very nice, very rich. I'm happy with the way this stock turned out. So, we're gonna do that. We're gonna turn the back burner and just simmer this for a little while longer. Okay, here's the stock, just simmering away. It looks great. Reminder, you need to constantly be skimming this stuff off the top if you want your sauce to be really clear. See on that? We don't want that in the sauce. I got a little bit of the stock on there, but not enough to really matter. Skim the stock, don't be lazy. Okay, so if you've made it this far in the video, there's a couple things I think you should know or have earned the right to know because you've watched this boring video for 20-some minutes. First off, I kind of jacked the sauce up. If you look in the video, when I talk about how long I boiled it for, I said we started around 12 noon, probably started simmering the bones like 1 o'clock, and then we went until midnight. I was lazy, didn't want to boil it more the next day. We strained it off. If you notice also, I put like text over the video that said you need to boil the bones for 16 to 20 hours. So I did the sauce, I reduced it, I put it in the refrigerator, it didn't thicken up. So I took the bones, I took all the mirepoix that luckily I didn't throw away, I put them back in the pot and simmered them. And I mean, it still made great sauce. I definitely did not simmer the stock long enough. I would recommend 16 to 20 hours. If it's on a low simmer, you're not gonna overcook the bones, and you simmer the sauce anyway. So if you're gonna err, I would err on going too long on the bone simmer. You wanna wait until all the vegetables and the meat on the bones and everything is just falling off and it's like, you want it cooked. Second thing maybe you should know is when you do it and you do strain the stock, you can stop right there. That's going to give you a great stock for French onion soup, any type of soup you want to make that's beef based, beef stew. That's a real flavorful liquid. You don't have to reduce it down as far as I did. I like doing that. I can freeze it in the freezer in the ice cube tray, pull out 1 ice cube of sauce, put it in there, and then add water to it like a bouillon cube. So personally, I like making the Demi Glace. If I want to make a sauce or a soup that doesn't need Demi Glace, I'll use the chicken stock. Other than that, I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for watching the boring video for 20 minutes.